Mr. Ibrahimoudou. Maintenance plateforme. Outline. Instructions for the use of personal protective equipment, PPE. Collective protection equipment, CPE. Instructions for use of equipment. 2. Instructions for the use of PPE. Wearing clothing, blouses, shoes on hose over boots, visors, gloves. 3. Instructions for the use of CPE. A product protection and or user and environmental protection to controlled atmosphere zone, CAZ. Biological safety cabinet, type 1, 2 isolator. Fume covered laboratory, P1, P2, laboratory confinement, P3, P4. 4. Clean room. Settings flow. Characteristics heavy checkmark type. Laminar. Turbulent flow heavy checkmark speed, heavy checkmark direction, heavy checkmark pressure, cleanliness class, ISO 5 to 8. Air renewal rate / hourly mixing rate, temperature, hygrometry 5. Instructions for use of equipment installation prerequisites, operating conditions, depending on the manufacturer. Power supply quality, benchmark. Electrical, power supply voltage, insulation, earth connection quality, electricity supply safety, inverter, regulator. 6. Instructions for use of equipment. A water, pressure, booster, hardness, distilled water, temperature, set point, regulation, hygrometry, set point, regulation, CO2, pressure, outlet / inlet, a butane, nozzle type. 7. Instructions for use of equipment. Operation. Operating procedures, manufacturer. Commissioning, start / stop, maintenance level 1, 2. Operations and frequencies, metrological control, reference system, control equipment requirements, choice and validity, methodology, decontamination, protocol, disinfectant / contaminant suitability, frequency, disposal, manufacturer disinfection, recovery of spare parts. 8. Instructions for use of equipment, 4/4. Alerts, odor, burnt, temperature, equipment and environment, in noise alarm. Reaction, stop the equipment, contact resource staff. 9. Questions? 10. Thank you for attention. 11. Description of Brightfield optical microscope. 1. Mr. Ibrahimoudou. Maintenance platform. Introduction. Brightfield microscopy is the most elementary form of microscope illumination techniques. The name, Brightfield, is derived from the fact that the specimen is dark and contrasted by the surrounding bright viewing field. Simple light microscopes are sometimes referred to as Brightfield microscopes. 2. Basic microscope components. 1. Eyepiece, ocular lens. 2. Revolving nose piece to hold multiple objective lenses. 3. Objective lenses. 4 and 5. Focus knobs. 4. Coarse adjustment. 5. Fine adjustment. 6. Stage to hold the specimen. 7. Light source, lamp. 8. Condenser lens and diaphragm. 9. Mechanical stage. Move the specimen on 2 horizontal axes for positioning the specimen. 3. Functions of the major parts lamp and condenser. Project a parallel beam of light onto the sample for illumination. Sample stage with XY movement. Sample is placed on the stage and different part of the sample can be viewed due to the XY movement capability. Focusing knobs, since the distance between objective and eyepiece is fixed. Focusing is achieved by moving the sample relative to the objective lens. 4. Condenser. Light from the microscope light source. Condenser gathers light and concentrates it into a cone of light that illuminates the specimen with uniform intensity over the entire view field. http://www Specimen stage. 6. Objective. Does the main part of magnification and resolves the fine details on the samples, MO10 to 100, eyepiece, forms a further magnified virtual image which can be observed directly with eyes, ME10, beam splitter, and camera. Allow a permanent record of the real image from the objective be made on film for modern research microscope. Functions of the major parts. 7. Objectives are the most important components of a light microscope image. Formation, magnification, the quality of images, and the resolution of the microscope. Objective lens. 8. Thank you for attention. 9. Microscope user maintenance procedure. Mr. Ibrahima. Maintenance plate form. 1. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity cleaning of the different parts at the user's discretion. Lens cleaning start and end of working day only with optical paper cover with its protective cover. After use, optimize bulb life. Switch off the bulb for a long stop. Replace the bulb if needed. 2. Special instructions. Use only optical paper for cleaning. Protect the device from any vibrations from nearby equipment. Protect the lenses from dust with its protective cover after each use. 3. Thank you for attention. 4. Microscopes preventive maintenance. Mr. Ibrahima. Maintenance plate form. Maintenance level 2. Operations periodicity disassembly and cleaning of optical components once every 3 months. Disassembly and lubrication of mechanical parts once every 6 months. Checking the electrical circuit once every 6 months. 2. Thank you for attention. Centrifuges user maintenance procedure. Mr. Ibrahima. Maintenance plate form. 1. Settings and safety instructions. Settings, speed, temperature, duration. Safety instructions check that the door is fully closed. Only open the lid when the centrifuge is completely stopped. 2. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity, cleaning the body of the device 3 times a month. Clean liquid and broken glass and decontaminate the tank in the event of a biological fluid spill on the initiative. Once a month, check the cover gasket and lubricate as needed once every 6 months. 3. Thank you for attention. 4. Centrifuges preventive maintenance. Mr. Ibrahima. Maintenance plate form. Mr. Hussein Faye metrology. 1. Maintenance level 2. Operations periodicity. Clean the tank and check the settings and operation. Check the locking system and lubricate the rotor shaft. Check the coils, depending on the type of centrifuge. Check the electrical circuit. Check the refrigeration circuit. If refrigerated centrifuge, measure speed, temperature, and time. Once every 6 months. Metrological control and calibration, possible speed, temperature, time once a year. 2. Stick the reflective strip on the axis of rotation of the centrifuge. Install the tachometer so that the light beam passes through the viewing window on the centrifuge lid. Take the values read by the tachometer and the centrifuge. Exploit the results. Method use is done using a chemotachometer, which is calibrated annually by the National Calibration Laboratory, NCL. Document provided a verification report. Checking the centrifuge. 3. Thank you for attention. Water bath user maintenance. Mr. Ibrahima. Maintenance plate form. Settings and safety instruction. Settings, temperature, timer. Safety instructions. Check the water level before use. Use only distilled water. Strongly recommended. 2. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity, clean the body and the underside of the device once every 3 months. Desk scale and clean the tank in case of presence of tartar. In the event of a spill, once a month, check the settings before use. 3. Thank you for attention. Water bath preventive maintenance. Mr. Ibrahima DOUF, maintenance platform. Mr. Hussein Fay, metrology. Maintenance level 2 operations periodicity check rotor and bowl seal lightly lubricate as needed once every 3 months. Check the emergency lid opening device once every 3 months. Check the electrical circuit once every 6 months. Check the coils. Depending on the type, once every 6 months. Control speed, temperature, and time. After changing the rotor or refrigeration motor. After changing the speed, temperature, or regulation card sensor, once every 6 months. 2. Thermostatic characterization of the enclosure. Program and install 9 or 15 probes depending on the volume of the enclosure to be controlled in accordance with standard NFX 15140, October 2002. Measure the temperature until the established summary is obtained. Download and use data. Determine the homogeneity of the stability of the indication set point deviation. Thank you for attention. Incubator user maintenance procedure. Mr. Ibrahima Diouf. Maintenance platform. Settings and safety instructions. Settings, temperature, hygrometry, CO2 concentration safety instructions. Optimize the door opening time. Use only trays for storage 2. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity, check the CO2 level of the cylinder 1 a month, clean and decontaminate equipment. Check the operation of the fan and carry out the settings in the event of a biological fluid spill on the initiative. 1 a month, check the door seal and lubricate as needed. 1 a month, check the clogging of the CO2 filter, depending on the type of equipment. 1 a month. 3. Thank you for attention. Incubator user maintenance procedure. Mr. Ibrahima DOUF, maintenance platform. Mr. Hussein Fay, metrology. Maintenance level 2. Operations periodicity, lean the tank and check the setting and operation of the fan once every 6 months. Check and dust off the electrical circuit and the safety device once every 6 months. Check the temperature, humidity, and CO2 level. After replacing the heating resistance, CO2 probe, hygrometer probe, once every 6 months. 2. Thermostatic characterization of the enclosure. Program and install 9 or 15 probes depending on the volume of the incubator to be controlled in accordance with standard NFX 15140, October 2002. Measure the temperature until the established summary is obtained. Download and use data. Determine the homogeneity of the stability of the indication set point deviation. 3. Mapping of the incubator. 4. Thank you for attention. Micropipette's maintenance procedure. Hussein Fay. Metrology. 1. Micropipette check. Test volume heavy check mark. The nominal volume of a variable volume pipette is the highest volume that can be defined by the user and the volume defined by the manufacturer, fixed volume pipette. For a fixed volume pipette, this is the nominal volume, equipment used, analytical balance or equivalent weighing device, having a resolution appropriate to the selected volume of the device under test 2. Micropipette check. Variable pipettes. Check 3 different volumes with a series of 10 measurements for each. Nominal volume. 50% plus or minus 0.5 C, 15 C of nominal volume. 10% of nominal volume multi-channel pipettes. Check each channel with 3 different volumes and, each time, by a series of 10 measurements. Nominal volume. 50% plus or minus 0.5 C, 15 C of nominal volume. 10% of nominal volume 3. Micropipette check. Methodology. 1/3. Fixed volume pipette. For a fixed volume pipette, this is the nominal volume. 1. Number of measurements per test volume. The number of measurements per test depends on the purpose of the check. Intermediate verification. Rapid compliance test. 4 to 6 measurements. Verification for the reference method. 10 measurements. 4. Micropipette check. Methodology. 2/3. 2. Periodicity, perform at least one check on 10 measurements per year for multi-channel pipettes and one check every 0.6 months for variable or fixed pipettes. 3. Procedure, read and write down the water temperature and barometric pressure at the start and end of the cycle. Place a small volume of water in the bottom of a weighing container. Rinse the cone by pipetting a volume of water and distributing into the weighing container 5. Micropipette check. Methodology, 3/3. 4. Calculations, establish the value of the correction factor Z as a function of the average water temperature and barometric pressure. 5. Acceptance criteria, record the calculated error, date, and pipette number on the form. Check that the minimum precision conditions are respected and mark the form. Minimum precision requirements, plus or minus 5% for pipette from 5 to 10 L plus or minus 3% for pipette greater than 50 L. If the error is beyond the tolerances, mark the pipette and remove it from the workstations. Return it to the supplier for possible repair or recalibration. Document provided, a verification report 6. Micropipette check, methodology. 7. Thank you for attention. Biosafety cabinet, user maintenance. Procedure, Mr. Ibrahimov. Maintenance platform. Microbiological or Biosafety Cabinet, BSC. BSC is an enclosure intended to protect the user and the environment against the dangers associated with aerosols and the handling of dangerous microorganisms, the air discharged into the atmosphere being filtered. Classification of mini environments, BSC Class 1, User and Environment or Product Protection, BSC Class 2, User, Environment and Product Protection, BSC Class 3, Maximum User and Environment Protection. Safety instructions, 1/3. Maintenance, prohibits corrosive products, BSC cleaning at shutdown. Use, before, during, after. Safety instructions, 2/3. Before use, cleaning and disinfection of the worktop, purge of 15 minutes, worktop organization. During handling, guard vane, work area, handling gestures, forbidden flame. Safety instructions, 3/3. After handling, arrangement of the worktop, purge of 15 minutes. Close the door before stopping the flow or be in standby mode. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity cleaning and disinfection of the worktop before and or after use cleaning and disinfection of retention tank, BSC stopped, in case of biological fluid spill on the initiative once a month. Thank you for attention. 7. Biosafety cabinet calibration. According EN 12469 and ISO 14644, Mr. Ibrahimov. Maintenance platform. Maintenance level 2. Operations periodicity. Settings control, functionality, flow control. Once every 6 months, electrical circuit check, metrological control, flow, H, S, particle counting, filter integrity once every 12 months. 2. Thank you for attention. 3. Autoclave user maintenance. Procedure, Mr. Ibrahimov. Maintenance platform. Settings and safety instructions. Settings, temperature, pressure, time. Safety instructions. Check the water level before use. Use only distilled water, strongly recommended. 2. Maintenance level 1. Operations periodicity, clean the body and the underside of the appliance once every 3 months death scale and clean the tank in the presence of tartar in the event of a spill. 1 a month check the settings before use perform a Bowie-Dick test after repair or after a change of part. 3. Thank you for attention. Autoclave maintenance level 2. Mr. Ibrahima DOUF, maintenance platform. Mr. Hussein Faye, metrology. Maintenance level 2. Operations periodicity: check the electrical circuit once every 6 months, check the pneumatic circuit once every 6 months, check the hydraulic circuit once every 6 months, check the carbon brushes, depending on the type. Once every 6 months, temperature/time control. After changing the heating resistance, temperature sensor or control card. Once every 6 months too. Characterization of the enclosure, 1/2. Checking the autoclave, destruction of all microorganisms, equipment used. Onboard pressure probes, embedded temperature probes, spore strips, sterilizer efficiency check, document provided, a verification report. 3. Characterization of the enclosure, 2/2. Autoclave test kit including temperature loggers, A to E. A equals EBI 12T100, B equals EBI 12T210, C equals EBI 12T220, D equals EBI 12T230, E equals EBI 12T231. 4. Maintenance service contract. Mr. Ibrahimadiouf. Maintenance plate form. Maintenance contract. Procurement, technical project, identification, choice of equipment, financial project, budget, terms of payment. Maintenance contact, constraints, cost 2. Maintenance contract. Maintenance contract, constraints cost, constraints heavy check mark consumables, heavy check mark maintenance operations, heavy check mark execution, schedule heavy check mark intervention times. Cost heavy check mark terms of payment, heavy check mark often high. 3. Maintenance contract. Type of contract. Maintenance without spare parts. Maintenance with spare parts provision. 4. Maintenance contract. Contents, equipment, interventions, type and frequency, deadlines, regulation. Optimization, finalization, regulation, assessment, annual. 5. Questions? 6. Thank you for attention. 7.